Pace Morby, the king of sub 2, told me to fail as soon as possible, and that stuck with me. This is just one of the things I learned at the Wealthy Investor Mastermind. And today I want to go over some maybe of other things that I learned, as well as why he told me to fail as fast as I can. Because you might be thinking, well, aren't they supposed to be on stage to motivate you? Aren't they supposed to be on stage to help you succeed? Why would they tell you to fail as fast as you can? And I want to go through all that and explain a little bit of a speech that really just stuck right in my mind. A lot of people like to show the success and the glamour and try to hype you up. But the biggest thing to understand is that it's not going to be so glamorous. And a lot of us try to plan it out before we actually take the action. We want all the knowledge we can before we take the first step. When in fact, something that Pace Morby said is that he literally got the basics of what you needed, literally so ground level. It's just the idea of like, okay, this is kind of what you have to do. And he executed it right away because of one thing he wanted to do was fail as fast as he could so that he'd go back to his mentors and say, hey, I effed up. Now what do I do? He literally has a mindset of saying that you want to F up as fast as you can. He wants to mess everything up. He wants to go tomorrow and mess everything up that someone else told him to do, gave him this idea, and he wants to screw it all up to the point where he has to go back to his mentor to try to figure out how he can clean it up and make it better. And the reason this stuck with me is because when you are thinking about just taking that first step, when you're thinking about building this business, when you're thinking about changing your life, it literally is the first thing you have to do is just go and take action and have the mindset that you're gonna fail, and that when you push yourself hard enough outside your comfort zone, it's inevitable for you to grow, but to grow you have to fail. You have to mess everything up so that you can learn. And this is the biggest thing that even some successful people get complacent with, is that they have gained the success with a certain something and now they're comfortable and now they don't want to fail again. They don't want to lose anything. But the more risk you have to take is how you can get to the next level. So the term he really explained is you want to fail forward faster. And what does this mean? Well, it means once you get the basics, like literally so basic, it might be an idea where you have to just figure out how to move your foot to the next step with that idea and actually executing. So that when you execute, it goes to idea, so you're putting it into action, and usually that first step, what people take forever to do, but it's gonna teach you the most. It's gonna be, you're gonna fail on that first step, and then you're gonna try it again because you learned, and you're gonna just try it again and try it again until you get past that first step. But you have to take that first step. You have to go forward. And that's how you fail forward. You wanna go into anything and be like, I wanna fail because the faster I fail forward and the faster I'm going to grow. Because if I just stayed comfortable, if I stayed in the position I am in and did nothing different to where I have no possibility of failing, well, you also have no possibility of growing. It's the idea of just thinking about your mindset of switching it to, I'm gonna fail faster and I'm gonna make it so I'm failing forward faster. Because it's not just the failing part, but you wanna move forward from it. You wanna take the failure as the same advice as you would get from a mentor. We all wanna seek these mentorships and these other groups and these people that we wanna ingrain all this knowledge. We wanna read all these books. Think about the failure as the actual knowledge that you're seeking. You're seeking to stretch yourself to the point where you mess up so badly that you might need help. You might have to go to your mentors. You might have to create all these other relationships so that when you do fail, you know what to ask because you're in a situation where you're like, oh my God, I need help on this. How do I get through this? And when you have those people next to you to go ask, and you can go and take that first step, that's where the real growth is from. And a lot of people spend so much time just planning things. They spend so much time not taking that first step. They spend so much time trying to figure out every little problem that could go wrong, which it's not completely bad. And I can tell you from firsthand, I am naturally like this. I want to see every problem that's down the road and be like, oh my God, like what happens if, this happens? How can we solve that before we go into it? Because I'm trying to mitigate risk. But the biggest risk is just not taking the action first, not going in and learning first. That is a bigger risk than trying to plan out everything, trying to figure out all these little tweaks and details before I go in and mess up. Because even if I try to plan out everything and tweak everything up before I took the action, once I take the actions, it's a mess again. Because it's all gonna be messed up. You're not gonna ever see anything go the exactly way you planned it. So the best thing you can do is just take the first step and then figure it out. every step you take, you're gonna figure it out. You're gonna ask people for that help. You're gonna lean on other people. And I've struggled with this before where I don't like people helping me. And it's something I've had to put away and learn that I need to have help from other people's minds and their experience, because it's gonna help me grow faster. And if I grow faster, that means I can achieve my mission and my goals, where I can provide to my purpose and help other people and help more people. So if I am selfishly not asking for help because I think I can do it all on my own and I don't want to lean on other people, I don't want to ask favors, I'm doing myself a disservice as well as many, many other people in this world. So when Pace Morby said this at the event, it hit me so hard that I knew I wanted to share it with you guys, as well as I knew that this year I needed to fail forward faster. And it's all about the execution. It's about executing as fast as you can. And I know I'm not going to be able to execute what I want to do and make it so that I'm executing every idea faster and immediately. But each time I can make everything better and better. It's all about consistency. So there's a time range. Think about it. This is the start. This is when I got the idea. And this is when I executed. All this empty space in the middle needs to be gone. You need the idea and execute right away. So my goal is to shorten this gap over time, over time, over time. And if I stress about it and I try to close this gap right away, that's just unrealistic. I have to shorten that gap. Let's, for example, instead of spending 7 days to execute something, then I make it the goal of doing 6 days. And I hit 6 days, I'm like, great, now let's do 5. Great, now let's do 4, 3, and then 2. And then that gap shortens and you'll see the progress will be faster. You'll be moving much quicker than you were beforehand, because you might even have ideas that you wait 2 years to execute. That's a lot of lifetime that you could have spent actually learning and growing something. You could have actually learned way more instead of trying to read all these books and trying to get all this information that really didn't matter, because once you started 2 years later, 1, you might have not really remembered everything, and 2, it all becomes a mess anyways. There are certain things that you can't learn being on the sidelines and just reading about and hearing about. You actually have to be in the game. There's no way you can learn certain things without actually taking the step forward, without actually executing. And you'll learn the most and the best things possible when you do execute. And this is why the dumber people that you know in your life, the people that you look at and you're like, why are they so much dumber than I am? I know more about this business than they do. And they're making a lot more money than me. They're more successful. And I don't understand how they can do that. And I'm just over here not doing anything. Well, that's the problem, is because you're not doing anything. So the person that is dumber than you is going to achieve way more than you, because they just took the action step and just took the risk of, hey, I'm not going to know anything. I'm going to screw up, because if I plan to screw up, I'm going to stretch myself so far that I'll have to learn. I'll have to figure it out, which means I will get better. I will make more money. And you might be that person that's on the sidelines thinking about, why is this person just making more money than me? I know so much. And it's a problem. It literally just, all you have to evaluate yourself is by looking at if you're actually executing everything you know. Did you actually execute that idea you came up with a year ago and you're trying to plan it out? Now's the time just to execute it today. So I plan on failing forward faster this year. And it's one of the biggest things I learned from the Wealthy Investor Mastermind. Among other things, there was a great speakers there. And there's a lot of people that were uplifting, they were motivating. They're like, yeah, we're gonna win, we're gonna win. But the thing that stuck most is the fact that if you think you're gonna win at everything, every step you take is going to be a win, and you're trying to make it a win every time to be so perfect, you're not gonna learn as much and you're actually gonna grow slower than stretching yourself outside your comfort zone, stretching yourself outside your norm, where you failed because you didn't understand what you had to do. And this is where you actually learn. This is where you're actually making the money. And you're gonna enjoy these experiences. Maybe not now, but in 5 years, you're gonna look back and be like, yeah, I messed that up. That was a fun time. It made me go out there and use my resources, lean on my mentor. It made me create more connections because I messed up. In the actual example of Pace Morby, he was that Cody Sanchez who buys a lot of businesses and she's a big boring business influencer, right? She taught Pace, hey, we should go buy boring businesses. And Pace is a creative finance guy. He loves negotiating these creative finance deals where the seller finances homes and multifamily properties, investment properties, right? And he converted that in the same way. These people own businesses, but they want to get out of them. So he combined those together and bought a business, creative finance. I believe it was little to no money out of pocket, and he did this within the same week that Cody Sanchez taught him. So he didn't wait a year to go and execute. He literally the next day or that day took action to go find a business so that he could negotiate terms with that business and buy it right away. And made me think how much slower that I am operating, because I have so many ideas where I should just be executing that day and the next day and just getting it done instead of waiting. Instead of thinking, oh, I have to make sure I know how to do this. I don't know how to run this business. I don't know what kind of terms I can do. It doesn't matter. The first action step to do something like this is just calling up business owners and just being like, hey, do you want to sell? That's literally all you have to do. That's the first step. And then you negotiate the terms. And then you figure out how you can run that business, how you can grow it. And that's where you actually learn the most, because you can see hands-on and you're literally diving into that business and you're like, oh, this is how it works. Instead of trying to go learn a bunch from everybody else. And you can have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't execute on it, you're not going to make any money and you're not going to grow. And the idiot that started from nothing with no knowledge and just took action is going to be 100 steps ahead of you by the time you come around being like, oh, like I know all this stuff. Maybe I should take action now. No, wait. Oh, that looks like a problem. I gotta go learn again. No, just go and take the action. Now, what I want you to take from this video is that you should ask yourself, instead of asking, okay, I gotta get this mentor, I gotta learn all this stuff, ask yourself, what's the first action step within the business that you wanna do? Within any idea, what is that first action step that's going to move you the furthest? You can learn a bunch, but I need you to learn the basics. You know one thing that you can take a step on. You literally need one thing. I know if you're a complete baby and you don't even have the idea, you don't have anything to be like, all right, I don't even know how to move forward yet. Get the one thing so that you understand, okay, I know that now, I'm gonna take a step forward because I learned that. Instead of waiting for 100 things and taking no steps. So ask yourself, what is my first action step? How can I execute this now? What is that one little thing? And this is gonna move you much faster. And the way Pace did it, he literally didn't even know this kind of business that he bought. He's never run it before. He wanted to mess up. He wanted to go and ask his mentors. He wanted to literally just buy this thing and just wing it. That's the biggest thing. I've had the most success just winging it because I didn't get caught up in my head about being too perfect. And something that I actually kind of relate to with sports is that in hockey, all we had to do was make the periods good, better, best. That's my coach's sayings every time. First period, you gotta be good. What does that mean? You just go out and do it, right? It's taking that action. Then you get better. Because you might have failed in the first period, you're now gonna learn from it and go out there and fix it and attack in the second period. Then after the second period, you take whatever you sucked at in the second period, whatever you need to get better, and then go hardcore and do the best you can in the third period. So nobody's asking to be perfect first off, right? That first period just has to be good. Go out there and perform just like you normally have. Don't stress about the other thing, right? It'll take care of itself. Do that first period, then you improve and improve and improve. It's not about trying to be the best right off. It's about wanting to get better. Because if you show up for first period and be the best and then suck for the rest of the game and act like you literally just got on the ice first thing as a learn to skate player, you're gonna lose. But if you go on it thinking, hey, we're gonna be good, we're gonna get better because we failed in the first period on some things, then we're gonna go all out and go even better than the second period to be our best period of the game. And that's how you should see your life is just go out there and do it. Doesn't matter what it is, just do it. If you heard of an idea, if you learned a little something, just take an action upon it. Don't wait for everything else. And the biggest thing to switch in your mind is if you had the mindset that success means you have to fail as many times as you can, if you switch that verbiage, instead of I'm trying to be successful, you said I'm trying to fail as many times as I can, as fast as I can, because that will lead you to success the fastest. That's what it actually means. So start thinking of success as, how can I fail today? I want to go fail. That's what you should be thinking in your mind. You shouldn't be thinking, how can I just win? Because if you're just winning, are you actually winning? And maybe for you, it's winning is the failing, which will get you to the next level. So your goal every day should be like, how can I stress myself and fail today? I want to go out there and fail. And it's not like failing means sitting back and relaxing and be like, oh, I failed today, I didn't do anything. It's literally going out there so hard, losing money, losing your time and energy and being like, oh my God, I was wasted on this because I went out and tried to do something and I messed all this up. And oh my God, I tried to call this guy and he told me off and I was supposed to close this deal and I said the wrong thing and I got him pissed off. Like whatever it is, like fails so fast, it fails so much that it's impossible for you not to learn. That's what you have to think about. It's impossible for you not to learn because you're failing so many times that every time you fail, you learn each time. So think about success as how many times can you fail and how fast you can fail as many times as you can. I appreciate you listening because I'm actually sharing with you all the things that I have struggled with in the past and maybe need to even fix now. And I don't want you to experience the same things. So I try to bring as much value as I can to you and give you the lessons that I've already been through, because it would be dumb of me not to share with you so that you can get one step ahead. And I know the same experience as it might be for you. So I want to be able to be here for you and help you get to your next level. So if you want to be here and join the community, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video if you want to hear more stuff like this. And I can provide you more knowledge from all these masterminds and events and people I meet. So if you want to hear a little bit more of what I learned from the Wealthy Investor Mastermind, let me know down in the comments and I'll make another video for you. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.